Spice Math. That's right. We add it up, multiply it, man. Spice Math. Okay. A couple things we're gonna learn today. Spice Math. All right. Take some time, educate yourself. Spice Math. That's right. You won't believe it's just math. Come on.
Hi, I'm Ruth Doughton.
Hi, I'm Aaron Williams.
Hi, I'm Brandon Alexander.
Hi, I'm Kelvin Doughton.
Hello, I'm Lyndon Sincere.
We are your Spice Math tutors.
You won't believe it's just math. Just math.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Spice Math. In today's episode, we'll be talking about discovering your calculator. Now today's session will be geared towards the form 3s to 5s, but everyone's welcome to pay attention. So the calculator is one of the most important tools in mathematics. And we've noticed that many students are unable to use their calculator effectively. The calculator that you'll be required to use for secondary school mathematics is a non-programmable scientific calculator. Now this might spark the question in your mind, Mr. Alexander, what is the difference between a normal calculator and a scientific calculator? Well, a scientific calculator is one which can perform more complex mathematical operations and is geared towards the fields of science, engineering, and mathematics. So these calculators do more than just add, subtract, multiply, and divide, which are the basic functions of a calculator. It is important to note that this guide will not make you a master at using your calculator. Some scientific calculators are made differently, meaning that they can perform different functions and have different features. Or you might have to use different calculators differently in order to achieve the same end result. The first function buttons on a scientific calculator can be accessed by using the buttons as they are. The symbols and markings on the buttons are straightforward and simple to use. So by first function, I'm talking about the functions that the calculator allows you to access by using the symbols on the buttons. So for example, if I wanted to complete the following operation, 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 8, I would simply input this into my calculator using the number button for 2, followed by the multiplication button, followed by the number button for 3, followed by the multiplication button again, followed by the number button for 8. And once I hit my equal sign, then it will produce an answer. That's 48. I think that's simple and straightforward. And you can then clear your calculator or reset your calculator for other operations using the AC, the all clear button. Now it's important to note that some calculators store the last answer that you got to make it easier for you to carry out working that involves multiple steps. So for example, if I wanted to calculate 21 times 2 times 5 all over 12 in a fraction, I could work out the numerator, the part on top, and once I obtain the answer for that part, I could press answer, the answer button, to use the answer from the first part, then press the divide button and input 12 to find the final answer. So let's do that here. First, I'll input 21, then I'll hit the multiplication sign, input 2, I'll hit the multiplication sign once more and input 5. I then press equal and I obtain an answer of 210. Now, I can use the answer function, that's this button right here, answer. I hit the division sign, then I input 12, and I hit the equal sign, and my final answer will be 35 on 2. So this is the final answer for 21 times 2 times 5 all over 12. The final answer is 35 on 2, and as you can see, I use the answer function, then I divide it by 12. Another important part of effective calculator use is bracketing. The use of brackets when working with calculators is done to ensure that operations are done in the right order or using the right figures. And these two buttons right here are your bracket buttons. A good concept that can be used to display this is finding the mean or average of a set of values. So for example, find the mean of the following numbers: 15, 16, 17. The mean of these numbers would be found by adding the 3 values and then dividing by the number of values. Since there are 3 values, you would divide by 3. If you just put this into your calculator as 15 plus 16 plus 17 divided by 3, you'll get an answer of 36.6. But this is wrong. The calculator would follow the rules of BODMAS or BOMDAS and would divide the 17 by the 3 first and then add it to 16 and add to 15. What you have to do is put brackets around 15 plus 16 plus 17. So it should indeed look like this. 15 plus 16 plus 17 divided by 3. When inputted like this, the calculator will follow the rules of BODMAS or BOMDAS and do what is in the brackets first and then divide the answer from the brackets by 3, giving you an answer of 16, which will be the correct mean or average for this set of values. Now that we've talked about the first functions, let's talk about second functions. All scientific calculators have a second set of features. These are features which make it easier for you to perform more complex operations, and they are accessed by using the second function or shift button. That's this button right here. This button allows you to access the symbols and markings above the buttons on your calculator. So that's all these symbols above, all these markings above your buttons. These symbols are usually the same color as the word shift or as the word second function, and that button, the shift or second function button, is usually located near the top of your calculator. For example, if I was required to multiply two mixed numbers, 2 3/4 by 5 7/12, this can be done in a faster way by using a second function available on most scientific calculators. Instead of turning these two mixed numbers into improper fractions, then using a bunch of brackets to try to complete this, we can just press the second function button and look for the button which has a symbol above it which looks like an empty mixed fraction. So let's follow those instructions. Let's hit the shift or second function button and we look for the button which has an empty mixed fraction above it. On my calculator, it's this button right here. As you can see, there's an empty mixed fraction made up of boxes. So I hit my second function button and I locate this button with the second function as an empty mixed fraction. I press this button and you see now it's available for me to fill out an empty mixed fraction. So it's important to note that this button may be a button all for its own on your calculator, but this is where you have to know your calculator. So once you hit the second function or shift button, that's this one here, and you press the button with the empty mixed fraction above it, you can now use the arrows on your calculator on this button here to navigate this mixed fraction and fill in your values. So the first fraction I said was 2 3/4. And I would now have to move off of the mixed fraction and hit the multiplication sign. And because I have another mixed fraction, I would have to follow the same procedure to get the empty mixed fraction. I would have to press the shift button and then hit the button where the second function or the symbol above is an empty mixed fraction. Now that I've done this, let me input the other fraction, 5. I use my arrows and 7/12. So once you've confirmed that no mistakes have been made, and if you did make a mistake, you can simply use the arrow buttons in order to navigate and fix any mistakes made. Once you've confirmed that you've made no mistakes, you then press equal. The calculator will return 737/48, which you can then write as 15 17/48, or you can write it as 15.35, which is the answer to 2 decimal places. Now, scientific calculators can convert from fractions to decimals. This is done by pressing a button which will appear as F to D or S to D. On my calculator, it's S to D. So if I hit this button, it will convert my answer to a decimal. Another example, if I were to divide 2 by 5, on many calculators it will give you the answer 2 on 5 as a fraction. But if I hit the S to D button or the F to D button, I will obtain the answer 0.4, which is simply 2 over 5 as a decimal. That'll bring us to the end of our little introductory calculator session today. There will be another part in this calculator series that will speak more about the more complex functions of the calculator. So students, I hope this video was informative and useful. If you got a little confused along the way, don't be afraid to go back, pause the video, take your time. I also want to encourage you to pick up the manual for your calculator. And if you can't find the manual, then look online for the appropriate resources to learn to use your calculator. Take some time, sit with your calculator and learn to use it. This is the only way you'll become a master at using your own calculator, and it will make your math life much easier. I hope you enjoyed today's class, and we'll see you on the next episode of Spice Math.
You won't